we go, the cornfield kicker. We got a lot of speed. Whoa! Oh!
Yeah, that's me. Bet you're wondering how I got in this crazy situation.
Welcome back to the Moist Monday podcast. I'm Robert.
I'm Jacob.
And today is the Red Bull Soapbox Special.
Woo! How do you think we did?
Did we place? Are we going skydiving? Did we make it to the finish line? Did we crash hard? We're going to talk about and answer all these questions and more in today's special. We participated in the Red Bull Soapbox Race Des Moines 2025 edition. So wild. It just happened a few days ago. Mm-hmm. Our bodies are a little sore.
Yep, we're recovering.
But before we jump into everything, we kind of give you a little teaser at the top. You kind of know what happened. We got to take it back.
We recovered.
We recovered from that.
It got way better after that.
We got to take it back to the start. How did we even get here? Take it back to the intro. How did we even hear about this? Because this is I think we did announce that we were doing it on the pod a few months ago, but
yeah, when our submission got in.
Yeah, but because I knew of Red Bull events, but I had no idea about the sign up and all this shit.
No, I had always kind of considered this a bucket list thing, kind of like the same as Wipeout or American Ninja Warrior, where I would love to try that stuff.
But then you're like, I don't know if it's even possible for me.
And it's just, that's the thing that I would love to do, but I never will. But then my sister messaged me sending me I think it was just a screenshot of that this is coming to Des Moines and they're taking applications now.
That's wild because I never saw that.
No,
and
me
a lot
neither.
of people that I was talking to never saw that either.
I never saw it. I didn't see any promotion until the event was happening.
Yeah, until the week before. Then it was ads everywhere for the event.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, can we still enter? And it's like, no, we built a car 2 months ago. Yeah, it's like...
Well, we finished the car on Monday.
Yeah, we finished the car a week before, but...
the week off.
Yeah, but we applied and got accepted 2 months prior, which was wild because I remember it was a few months ago. We were like, oh, yeah, let's do it as a bit.
Well, it's just like the idea of we'll submit something.
We'll submit something because it's like, oh, yeah, we're just two fucking dudes that do a podcast.
Yeah, and we're like, this would be interesting to talk about.
It's going to be interesting, but we're not going to be able to get in. We don't know how to build a car. We don't know how to do this shit.
Because before I did put in submissions, I texted my dad asking hey, I'm going to submit to this. If we get in, will you help?
Yeah, just to make sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Just so we wouldn't have to quit.
Yeah, because if it was just you and I.
No, we couldn't have gotten any of this done.
We would have used a wagon.
Maybe.
Which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we applied and we were like, oh, that's so funny. This is such a good bit. We're not going to get... Because also our sketch and our drawing, which we'll have on the screen right now if you're watching on YouTube, is so bad.
It's just not much. It's just the idea of and then there'll be tires here and a steering thing here.
It's just, it's just a sketch.
Yeah.
And what I realized is some of the teams that got accepted, it was just a photograph.
Yep.
Like one of the teams, it was just a photo of the Dumb and Dumber car and they got accepted. Granted, their car turned out...
They had the Dumb and Dumber car.
Yeah, granted, their car turned out amazing and was the Dumb and Dumber car, but our idea was not just that simple.
But it's so wild that they accepted just a photo.
Yeah.
It said sketch.
Yeah, it was wild. So... when we got accepted, we were like, oh,
shit.
I was really excited because I remember I was at Midwest Gaming Classic that weekend.
I was at my sister's wedding.
And we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
now we got to build a car, but it was like, oh, we have 2 months.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. We'll be set. We got plenty of time to build a car.
And oh boy, did those 2 months fly by.
Yeah. And we waited till the last second.
Because I'd say we worked on it once, probably a month ago, and got the entire frame built.
Yeah, it was kind of loose, but we had the walls done and ideas
and we knew where everything was going, and we had plans for the axle and the wheels and stuff. And I think I went again with my dad and we got a little bit more done.
Yeah.
And then you came in again and we got even more done.
Well, what's wild is
and those parts have been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so before we even got to the actual build, we were we had to think of an idea.
Yeah.
And so our idea was to do a Miss Pac-Man themed arcade car.
Because I love doing everything arcades.
Yeah, and we've done arcade stuff and we were like, oh, we already have a mascot because of our movie Game Over.
Yep.
Well, even though it's Galaga related, but that's fine. It's still arcade. But our original idea was to have a stand-up arcade machine and then a arcade machine laying down as the back is a pickup truck.
Yes.
So we'd both be in the machines.
Yeah, you'd be standing in like on top of one basically, and
Yeah.
I would be in one.
And I was like, oh, that's going to be sick because it's 2 arcade machines. And then when we started like talking more, I think it was your dad that was like, what if we made it an old school pickup truck or something?
Yeah,
And I
just
was
did,
like,
wood paneling in the
and
back
I was
instead.
like, absolutely.
That's
that'd be
way easier.
And that'd be sick as fuck.
And it makes way more sense.
Yeah, miss pickup.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so cool. The build process was wild. But before we jump into like actual building it, I do want to talk about a little history of the Red Bull race.
Cool.
So this is wild because this is the first time I've ever been to one of these events.
Me too. We didn't realize that it had been here like 2 years ago,
It was
2 or 3.
2022 was in Des Moines. So this is the second time it's been in Des Moines, which is wild. But the Red Bull soapbox race has been around since the year 2000.
Holy shit.
It's been around for 25 years. The original first race was in Belgium. It was in Brussels.
Red Bull's so weird.
It's so weird. So now it's like an international event. It's been fucking everywhere. It's been places such as London, Portugal, New Zealand, Australia, Los Angeles, and then Des Moines. Twice.
That's so
why
weird.
is Des Moines?
I'm happy about it.
I'm great
but
happy. So it's so weird because in 2025, there's only going to be 3 Red Bull soapbox races in the United States.
Okay.
The first one, Des Moines, Iowa.
Fuck yeah.
Second one, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Cool.
Third one, Los Angeles, California. Why the fuck is Des Moines?
Yeah.
Like, why is it not Chicago?
Yeah, that is weird.
It's so weird, but
Maybe
I'm also
because of the space.
That's true. But I am like, that's awesome. That's great for us.
Yeah,
that
good for Des Moines.
It's fucking
We didn't have to
awesome.
go far.
It's just so wild that they've been doing it for 25 years.
Yeah, I did not
just
know
the
that.
soapbox version, because then there's all the other events they do.
They have so many going on. Because now I keep checking their social media, and it is exhausting.
It's
We've
wild.
got way too much going on.
It's so cool. I really want to do like they have a plane event.
Yeah.
Where like you go down a ramp and then you see how far you can fly
That looks
over.
way harder.
Yeah, how do you build a plane?
How do you move a plane?
It looks like you build something that has wheels and then it dislocates from the wheels.
And just something super light.
And then you're just in it going over
trying
water.
to float. What if you keep going? What if you go up?
You just keep going
Yeah,
up.
like that's terrifying.
And then you just eventually have to come down in water.
Hopefully.
Like that's what's so wild is like, and also what's so wild about this whole event and I'm guessing all the other Red Bull events is it was free to enter.
Yeah.
It was free to do. The only cost that we had to put in was the car itself.
And some people probably just had that from last time.
Yeah, exactly. So it also was a free event to go to. Everything
Yeah.
about this was free, which is so wild to me. Because some events it's like, oh, $150 to enter.
Right,
And
yeah.
then on top of this, and then it's like, oh, you got to buy tickets to come to the event. Like that's
Yeah.
how 48-hour film festival is.
That's true. Yeah.
Like you got to pay to be in, and then you got
And
to pay
pay tickets.
for tickets, and like even your team doesn't get in for free. Only a few people of the team do. So this is like everybody's just free.
Show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's so wild about the
There's
whole thing.
very little rules. I think it's all just that it's free marketing. Or I guess like they spend a crazy amount of money on it.
Yeah, but like Red Bull, like they are marketing, and
They're such a brand.
but they're so big as a brand, they don't need it. But they're also like, this is fun. Like, dude, the people that were running the event, that's their job, and they probably make way more than us.
Oh, I bet they
and
make
they just
bank.
travel and just have fun.
That is nice. It's just,
That'd be sick.
does like all this rely on us buying like Red Bull? Like it has to be more than just that.
It's
right?
so weird because there's no way they make that much money just selling Red Bull.
to do all of this crazy shit.
Yeah, all the time.
I have no idea.
Yeah, plus they're doing like all the crazy stunts with the athletes,
all
like,
the sponsored events,
Yeah,
yeah.
the people that free dive, the people that skydive,
That guy
the
that
people
fell from space?
Yeah, the guy that fell from space, people that do crazy snowboarding tricks, crazy skateboarding tricks, like, and they were sponsoring all those people.
Yeah.
just from I want a Red Bull. Okay, $4. Like what? Like that's insane.
I mean, I don't even like the energy drink.
Yeah,
I
you
don't like
don't
energy. I don't like energy drinks.
I drink a lot of Red Bull because I get it for free at our bar. Because you
that's
get
true.
one free per shift.
Yeah.
So I drink a lot of it, which is wild. But I'm usually a Monster guy, so it's like I don't get how they
But like,
can
so it's
afford
Monster
this.
just rolling in cash because they don't do all this crazy shit.
I don't know.
They do some stuff.
Yeah, they do like a monster truck.
Yeah, I see like rally cars.
Yeah, they do. They sponsor some stuff, but like Monster just feels more gross, and Red
Yeah.
Bull feels like an athlete's
No, like if Red Bull did MMA, it'd be like spousal.
or Monster.
Or yeah, Monster. Sorry, damn. Damn, now we're gonna get in trouble.
You want to take it again?
Yeah. No, if Monster, if Monster funded like MMA, it'd be like spousal fights.
Yeah, I'm not gonna edit that.
You better.
I'm not gonna.
You better. We want Red Bull to promote this. You better.
Yeah, but it is wild because also thinking about the other energy drinks. Remember growing up, Rockstar promoted like pop punk bands.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Amp got in on that.
Oh yeah, that was weird. But I remember like All Time Low videos. It was just Rockstar.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, when
That
they were,
I feel like dancing. Yeah,
that video's sick.
it's weird though, and like I I picture them as like more like motorbike stuff, which is weird.
Yeah. I drink occasional rock stars. It's just so weird that energy drinks are just like
Doing shit.
I guess if you have energy, that's how you're able to fucking
I mean, I know
jump off a mountain.
I know Pepsi does weird shit too.
Pepsi
like
Max. Remember that?
that pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry.
I meant like their events and shit. Like everyone does these giant events.
Yeah, I just don't understand how these companies can
It
afford
just
it.
derives from a
Brand
drink.
awareness. Yeah, it's just a drink. So going back to the Red Bull race, before we jump into our build and stuff, what exactly is the Red Bull soapbox race for people that don't know, for people that aren't doing it? So I wrote down a few things.
For
just
all you normies
for
out
all you
there.
for all you non-athletes. Okay, we're Red Bull athletes. So every team that gets accepted must build a car that is only powered by gravity. No motors, nothing in it. No electronics are allowed at all. Mm-hmm. And this car must be able to get or attempt to be able to get through a few obstacles.
Can you imagine if like the Amish did this? They would destroy us.
Yeah, but they're no horsepower.
No, you don't think they could build this?
Yeah, it probably could.
Yeah.
But it'd be all wood.
Yeah, but it's the Amish.
And then they stain it.
It'd be incredible.
It looks sick. So at the Red Bull Soapbox event, there is a panel of judges that judge every car based on speed, creativity, and showmanship. So it is nice because even if you do crash and wipe out, you still get a score. And like, I read something, I was looking at fun facts. There was a car, I think it was like 2017, I don't remember the event, that went off a ramp,
Okay.
got so much fucking air, it flipped over and landed upside down.
Jesus.
And they got like really good scores because that was just so impressive.
That's fair.
But I was like, imagine you're going so fast. And they like, what I was reading, they like flew over hay bales.
Jesus.
Like, I'm just like, holy
Christ.
shit.
I mean,
that'd be so
You
scary.
think audiences could easily get injured at this kind of
Yeah,
thing?
the gates, like, we'll talk about our crash, but like the
Yeah. I
gates
saw
are present.
someone get knocked down by a car hitting the gate.
They put
hard
up
enough.
2 layers of gates and hay bales, but it's still
There's
you're
also
going
people inside the gate
Some of the
area.
cars were going 30 miles an hour. Like, dude, that one car that we saw crash at the end, just boom.
Oof, the Dune one.
Yeah,
That one made
and then
me nervous.
the guy didn't get up for a while.
Right, because he had blood in his mouth too.
Jesus Christ. So after the judging is all that, there are a few requirements for your car, and each event is a little bit different. But for our event, the requirements were it had to be under 175 pounds, not including driver, so just raw car. It had to be under 10 feet long. It had to be under 5 feet wide, and it had to be under 6 feet tall. So that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Imagine building a 10-foot car. I don't know if
That would
be
drag.
It'd be so long, and it must have a minimum of 7 inches of ground clearance because of the ramps and the obstacles. You got to be able to clear it because there were a few cars that were going slow.
And they got stuck.
And that's just embarrassing. And then also on top of that, you must have working brakes and steering. And in working, I'm doing like quotations because they don't check it.
Nope, they don't check any of
They
this.
don't check shit. Our
And-
car was over 175 pounds.
It maybe wasn't.
Yeah.
It was close though, because I was cutting weight, and then you guys added more at the end.
But what's so wild is like so a load in, we bring our car in and like the safety guy comes around and makes sure like all the qualifications are there. And he goes, how much does this weigh? And we go, it's around 175. And he goes, 174? And we're like, okay,
Cool.
And it's like, he didn't even weigh it. And it's like, dude, what if our base was just metal? Just steel.
No clue.
And he just like looked around and made sure it was like somewhat safe.
And I'm guessing
and I'm
they
sure
were-
he's done it a lot where he can like tell. Like
bet not
eyeball wise.
weight.
Yeah, but not weight, but I
'Cause
mean
you don't know
like,
what's in there. Yeah,
but
height and length.
yeah. Because you gotta be
Nothing was close to 10 feet long.
Yeah, you gotta be able to fit on the course because some of the turns and stuff are tight, so they
Yeah.
don't want it too wide, and then too high because you're top heavy. But also that's kind of fun to
Yeah, and they
see
didn't
people
check that
flip.
at all.
So our idea was the arcade machine pickup. Mm-hmm. So the first trouble that we had was height.
Yes,
Because we were like, oh, the arcade machine sticks up high, and then we didn't think about that the wheels also are going to add fucking 8 inches even more.
we just made the arcade too tall.
Yeah.
because it was basically life size,
It was, but that's what we were
and
trying.
then elevated.
And then we had to cut the marquee down, right?
Yeah, we cut the marquee down, then we cut the base down a little bit, and we got it because I think after we cut everything down initially, we were still 1 inch over. Fuck. So we cut off, I think, like 3 more inches and really
just
dropped
to
it
heighten
down.
it, which sucks because it's like we already had the frame built, and that's just so tedious to cut it.
But
like,
it was a
unscrew it.
good thing overall because of how I was positioned in the car. Because how I was positioned while driving was not the original plan.
Oh, okay.
So the more we dropped it, the
the
better
easier it was
the
for
new
you, yeah,
plan
because you could
worked.
like you could kneel. So I want to talk about like our build real quick.
Mm-hmm.
like some of our challenges in the build. I think my biggest challenge in building the car was just wrapping my head around steering. Like even post race, I still don't quite understand steering.
How other people's works. I understood how ours worked.
Ours made
and why
sense.
It didn't work.
Yeah, but like I don't understand steering, and it's still confusing to me. I know like next time we do it, because I do want to do it again.
Yeah, we'll have to do a different
we need to
time.
get a better axle and a better steering system and like a stronger steering system. But I was just like, how do we do this? Like our original idea was we got 2 bikes and we were going to use like a bike.
Yeah, because I came up with the idea of using the head gasket or whatever that. Not gasket,
the thing that
whatever
turns.
where the handlebars goes up and like the actual wheel is below it.
Because it's that little cylinder that it spins inside of.
Yes. So we cut that off. We cut a lot of the part that holds the tire on. So we just had those 2 spokes going down.
Yep.
And I came up with the idea of we just drill out a 4x4, stick that through, bolt it to it. And then that will at least be able to turn, and we know what turns it.
And I was just like, is that going to be like impossible to turn? Like
Yeah,
I was
we
like,
were worried about the weight
I was like,
of it.
is it going to be just? But then once we got the wheels on, I was like,
No
actually
issue.
pretty graceful.
Yeah.
And our original idea was to use bike tires as well.
Yes.
You got 2 free bikes, which is so cool because you went to like a bike shop and asked her, and then they just gave you bikes.
We have a bike collective, and I was asking him questions about it. I was like, hey, you'd actually be doing us a favor if you just took these 2.
Oh fuck!
And I was like, all right,
You're like, hell yeah,
I'll do that.
You want to sponsor a car?
Yeah, he had given a few other free bikes out
that's
too
sick.
to other drivers, he said.
It was really cool looking at everybody's braking systems and steering
What they came
systems
up with,
because
yeah.
everybody did something different. That's what's so cool about this is the creativity was just out of the park.
But a lot of people had the same steering because it's the correct steering.
Yeah.
Where the
a lot
correct-
of people had go-karts.
Yes, it was basically go-karts with like cool foam shit built on top of
Yeah.
it.
Which is the way to go. But how do we get a go-kart?
I asked people, and a lot said that they weren't actual just go-karts. It's that they just built a frame and just bought the go-kart stuff to put on it, basically.
Oh, like, yeah, because a lot of people like welded a metal frame, which was what we should do.
Yeah, we could probably do that in the future.
You're a
whenever
welder.
Whenever I get my own actual welder.
We need to get, just
Something easy, yeah.
That'd be sick to get footage of that.
Well, and that would hold so much better.
Yeah, because our entire car was wood and foam.
And it
wood
felt it.
is not shock absorbent.
No. And that's what everyone was. Well, yeah, whenever we walked through like the cars, we're like, oh, all of these guys have shocks.
Yeah, everybody had shocks and like
just
compression.
a good suspension. Yeah.
And I was just like, I didn't even think about it.
Well, because there were some cars that we would look at and we'd be like, oh, that's gonna not do well. And then
it did pretty well.
Well, then also I started realizing like some people like really liked our cars, but they're like, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
luck.
everybody kept saying, good luck.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's sturdy. Like,
Yeah. It was sturdy.
Because this is my first time doing it. I didn't, and I knew we were going to learn a lot from doing
Yeah.
it. Like I knew. So looking back at our build and basing it just on this car, what would we do different? Like obviously steering.
The steering is the biggest thing. So yeah, we had a basic. Our axle was hooked on like one bike tire would be. So when I turned the handlebars, the whole axle would turn with me.
Yeah, so like the wheels just like went up and down instead of turning. Like if that makes sense. Like
Well, they would turn the full
They
length.
turn the full thing instead of tipping.
Yeah, the full axle
Yeah.
turned instead. Yeah, basically
It was
the
a
ends
radius
tipping.
instead of a tip. Yeah, which it's kind of hard to explain audio wise, but makes sense if you're an engineer.
Yeah, I mean, picture how one bike tire moves. Imagine if
Yeah.
it was a bar through that.
So that's one thing I would definitely change.
Because the big issue with that is that one, I couldn't see where like the bike tires were. So if anything clipped, then the whole thing would swing.
Yeah.
And also, just there was no really straight on it because they're both just pointed.
Yeah,
in
because
a
they were
direction,
just pointed
in the same direction.
So anytime you would push it, it would just
or if any, like if we even shifted, it would then pull back one side, causing the whole car to turn.
which we realized on the first hill, we were like, fuck.
Yeah,
we were wobbling.
I got it under control.
Well,
but like,
on our test trials, it felt smooth.
yeah,
But we tested it on a small hill. That's what I kept telling everybody. We tested it on a small hill.
Well, also just when you're confined, like it's easy to walk like a thick balance beam. If you just walk that, like if you put tape on the ground, you could walk within that way easier than walking on a balance beam the same size.
That's 2 feet in this, 2 stories in the sky.
Yeah, like it was the walls on our side where we could fit between them easily, but once they're there, I'm oversteering every direction.
Yeah, that was because we tested it before we put the sides on and shit. And then when we got to the race, you were just in a box.
Yeah, I was looking out the front window of an arcade cabinet.
I do like looking at the footage though. Like we looked fucking professional.
I think
and
so.
I was trying so hard to hype the crowd up.
Yep.
I think let go of the car and was like,
Yeah, you can see you up on the little hill.
So that's one thing I would definitely change. Like, we never got a chance to test out our braking system, but I think our braking system was actually pretty good.
I think so. Yeah, because I came up with this on Monday.
So my initial idea for the brakes was because we starting with bikes is to use bike brakes and just have like the pressure thing with the wire. Mm-hmm. Because we were going to use bike tires, so I was like, "This would make sense."
Yeah, which
and I could just have 2 bike brakes at the back.
One for each tire. Which I bought the bike brakes, and like when we were still using bike tires, I had them like where they could be fitted.
And I did see a few cars that were using bike brakes,
but also I don't think that would have stopped.
No,
us
I think
at all.
no, I don't think brakes. I think they're there for safety.
It needs to be a pad, pressing.
So we changed our tires from bike tires to wheelbarrow tires.
I think wheelbarrow, big thick tires,
which are way better than bike tires because bike tires are so wobbly. But we were like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do for brakes now? And then you came up with the pushing method.
Well, so I came up with just the idea if we had just like kind of chutes on the side that just lined up with a bungee cord attached to them, so they wouldn't always be against the tire, but like. Basically, like if you just pushed on it, it would just slide down a chute off on the outside of the car.
Yeah, so you just step on it, basically.
No, I pictured with your hands at first.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do like kind of handlebars over where you can just pull back on them.
That'd be cool, yeah.
And then my dad came with the idea of like, well, what if it was just on the feet across the entire thing?
And then you can just step on it.
Yep.
Yeah. And we tested that on the small hill, and it worked great. I was able to stop mid-hill.
I think that would have worked better than bike brakes.
Yeah, it definitely worked well. We never got a chance to use it. So like, I don't know if that would be important.
I mean, we were planning on slowing down if we recovered right in the spot where we crashed.
Yes. Spoiler, we didn't make it to the end.
Yeah.
But so we built the car. We got all this stuff done. It was really cool doing the artwork because like we built this frame and then we were doing the arcade theme. And dude, there's no way it would have looked this good without your dad.
No, my dad really took over that idea and it ran with it.
Dude, it looked so fucking professional because your dad has a CNC. Your dad has like a fucking wood burner. He's a 3D printer. Like he was able to do all kinds of shit.
Laser engraving shit.
Yeah, like so our side arcade panels were foam insulation, like those pink foam sheets.
Painted black,
and then he carved into it with a CNC, so it was a pink outline.
Yeah,
which was so sick. So many people were coming up to a car being like, "How'd you guys do this?" And so I was like, "Oh, I just made this design in Photoshop."
Yeah,
and then sent it to your dad, and then he just CNC cutted it.
Yeah,
and it turned out so fun. I was like, "This is incredible." That's how he made the marquee. That's how he made the sides. And then for that pickup truck, he wood burned a Pac-Man
like maze into the side of it. So cool.
I was like, holy shit.
That's probably my favorite part of it.
Our original idea was like, oh, we're going to try and paint this.
Yeah.
And I was like,
do our best.
I'm not good at painting.
No, me neither. I was going to put like a lot of painter's tape and just try and do like the shapes.
And I think our original idea was like get a projector and just like outline
it. Yeah. Which that would have worked.
It would have worked, but it would have taken forever.
It had not been worth it.
Yeah, and then your dad did so much.
Yeah. He kept doing
Thank you
stuff.
so much.
Yep.
Like, dude, we would not have been able to participate. He did most of the work. He was the brains and the muscles of the car.
Most of it.
He did all of it. But like he built us a tailgate for the pickup.
Yeah.
It was so sick.
That's the only piece I took from the car.
And he built up a license plate. He built like fake coin slots. Like oh man, our car looked. I'm glad I took so many photos.
Yes.
Yeah, our car looked so fucking sick.
For as long as it did.
Yeah. What's so wild is like looking at all the cars. Some people would just walk right past ours because they'd go, "Oh, Dumb and Dumber."
Right.
Oh, Wayne's World. Oh, like people would see something they know, and ours was just something that doesn't exist.
It's a pickup Pac-Man.
Yeah, but a few people were like, "This is my favorite." And that's always. I feel like every time we do something creative, we're always in We're always in the very specific group, but it's somebody's favorite. And what I always consider us like bottom of the top.
Yeah, like we're at least good enough to compete, but we're not.
But we're not the best.
We have not perfected a thing.
And we're also not like some of the cars. We're not like, oh, that's poor. Like that's bad.
Yeah, there were some that just looked a little rough, but also I think all the ones that looked rough did a little better than us.
Yeah,
because also some of the really good looking cars just like the bottom gave out, and they just like
it was
stopped.
Wild when axles snapped and like there was.
I will say when we went off that first ramp, our axle did not snap. It just broke. It
just disconnected from our car.
Yeah, which is what I thought was going to happen.
We had a great axle.
It did. Yeah,
it didn't bend
at all.
It just separated.
Yeah.
So we finished building our car. We did a lot of photos. All this stuff will be on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Which is
basically
cool.
a slideshow.
Yeah, because I took so many things. But the day before the event, we had to load in, and that was really fun. That's when we had to sign like a bunch of safety papers and
Gotta start talking to the other drivers.
And what's cool is we had to sign. So we had to do a bunch of safety, like basically a death wish, death will, and then we had to sign a thing for the Discovery Channel to be like, oh, Discovery's filming a TV show.
Yeah.
You might be in it. You might be in B-roll. You might be a part of this. And I was like, oh, cool. Sign the document.
For sure.
We're loading in our car.
Cameras everywhere.
Then this British lady comes over and she goes, hello. I can't do accents at all.
Yep, that's what you sound like.
Hello.
That was even worse.
Hello.
Nope.
Hello. She came over and she's like, oh, I'm for Discovery. I'm going to quit trying.
Yeah, I won't even try. She's a very nice British lady.
She's
She's
great.
from the Discovery Channel.
She's from the Discovery Channel, which like that's a big channel.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I watched it a ton back in the day.
I don't know
Shark
what's on
Week.
it. Okay.
Yeah, Shark Week. That's what Mythbusters was on Discovery.
Okay,
like it was like
nice.
science shows,
Sure.
and now it's becoming Red Bull shows. So they were like we're filming for a show. Which sidebar, there is a show out. Mm-hmm. It's on Discovery, which is on HBO Max,
Okay.
and I think there's 4 episodes now, and they're slowly releasing more.
Yeah.
But the first Des Moines event is one of the 5 that's out. The third
wild.
episode of the Red Bull Soapbox Race on HBO Max by Discovery is out, so you can see what the Des Moines event. And I watched it the night before, and it was cool as fuck. It was so sick. I just wanted to know what we were getting into.
Right, because I think they said ours will come out in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because it takes a while editing.
Well, I think, or are they gonna like wait until the next one's here, and that's when they're gonna release it?
maybe yeah for
Since
promote.
they did this year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't really know, but she came up to us and she's like, "Do you care if I do a quick
they asked
interview?"
a few questions about the car at first, and we answered them.
Yeah, and then we like went over and we got mic'd up by some guy, and then
she ran us through like a little test one first,
Yeah.
where she just asked questions about the car. And she's like, "All right, do you guys want to actually?"
which is cool because
Yeah.
I was like, "This is."
Sure.
I don't know if she interviewed every team. She might have, but
Maybe, yeah.
But I was like, "This is." I felt like such a big deal because we were getting interviewed,
We were just
and
like,
then
oh shit, we're gonna.
she was
be on
asking us
TV.
questions. She said we had great chemistry.
She laughed a lot,
She
which
laughed
was
a lot.
nice. I know we did a few bits while we were filming for
Yeah,
Discovery.
we did the
Synchronicity
synchronicity bit. We did the new peak point,
Yep, the 2-finger PowerPoint.
which is something that we're starting to do now.
Yep.
The PowerPoint.
It's inspired by my father. Whenever he yells at another adult, he gives him that.
And now we're doing it as a joke, and I don't think he,
Knows it? I don't know.
because he did it with us.
Yeah.
And I kept going, that's a strong point, but I don't know if he was understanding that
Because
we
my
were.
mom, I bet he does because my mom hates it.
Yeah. We were doing it because I was like, this is funny, but also strong. And then it's so odd to picture him just yelling and doing it.
Yeah,
because I can't picture him
He'll
yell.
throw that up in your face.
But it was really wild to be like interviewed by Discovery, and then we get a look around at all the cars while they're loading in. Dude, it was wild. Some of the cars were like not done.
No, there was one car that didn't have walls or wheels.
Yeah, there was one car where it was just a steel frame, missing wheels, missing walls,
and it was
missing
like
a seat.
sharp steel
Yeah,
frame.
and I was just like,
Ugh.
what the fuck?
And it was the last car. I think it was second to last.
Second
car.
to last car, and they built it the day of the race, and I was like, is that allowed?
Guess what? They made it further than
Yeah, they
us.
made it- some of the cars that I thought that's not going to make it, made it further than us.
Way further. Some of them finished pretty well.
I know, I'm like, God.
One of them did the best.
Yeah, which is we'll talk
Yeah.
about that, which is so insane. But it was just so wild, and like I was looking at articles to like figure out like number wise how many people were going to be at the event. I found 2 different numbers from 2 different Des Moines articles.
Okay.
One article said that there were 20,000 people.
That's what I saw.
At the event. And then I saw another article that said there were 35,000
Jesus.
people at the event. And I don't think there was that many.
No,
I don't think there was 20,000 people.
I don't know what 20,000 people looks like.
I guess I don't know. And I guess at the peak of the event, because it
Which is when
dwindled,
we went.
It dwindled down a lot.
Yes, near the end, people.
Because it went on. There's 46 teams. that
Luckily,
raced.
we were 10th.
Yeah, we were 10th, which was nice. But I'm like, holy shit. I guess it was a free event. So a lot of people just came.
Came and went, yeah.
Like Wes came, my parents came. Like a lot of people came and then went and got food somewhere and then left. And,
I mean, we even like after we were done, we would watch for a while and then go mess around.
yeah,
and come
then
back.
it just went on for a while. But I'm like, that's so freaking wild. But it was really cool, like in a pit row, and then also the day of the event to walk around. That was one of my favorite parts. Is
Yes.
walk around and talk to the other
Just
teams,
chit chat,
because
shit talk.
It was so cool because it wasn't competitive.
No,
Every team that at least I talked to and was a part of it was always curious, and they were excited about your car. We were excited about their car. Like it
We
was
talk
just
about other cars.
Yeah, we were just like, man, how'd you guys do this? Have you guys done this before? Like,
How'd you test it?
What's your steering? What's your brakes? Do you guys
And
have?
that's where everyone was like, oh.
Yeah, that's when I should have realized that was a red flag.
Yeah.
I kept going, no, we'll be fine. We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, like, it steers.
But everybody was just like, that's what's so cool is the community of this event was so cool because I could see some people being like, oh no, we're gonna fucking win. No,
With
but people
like
were
48, it's not fun with everybody you talk to.
no, because some people take it too serious.
Well, and also, I think we're less fun to talk to at that than we would be here.
That's true.
Probably.
That's
we're
true.
more competitive there
Yeah,
than here.
this was just fun.
Well, everyone's just like, oh, we built a car, I guess. Like, we'll see.
Yeah, most of the teams were like, we don't even like. We're gonna try and get to the finish line.
Yeah.
Most of them are like, I don't think we're gonna make it. And I was like, we might make it.
No, how I was talking is that I thought we'd make it further.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna make it.
But also now,
further
like,
for sure.
testing the car, it would have been way worse if we made it past where we did.
Yeah.
That would have been real bad. Or just so there was like a figure 8 in it. And our steering, we would have hit like the middle.
Yeah,
full
do you
speed.
want to talk about? Yeah, let's talk about the track itself. So,
Yeah.
what's so wild is because it's gravity inspired, it was built on this really steep hill in Des Moines, Iowa. But then they were like, let's make it more insane. We're Red Bull. We're crazy. They built a 2-story high starting ramp or starting hill on top of the already steep Capitol Hill. So, in order to get your car up there, your car has to take an elevator.
The elevator was wild.
Which was so insane. So they lift your car up 2 stories, you go upstairs, and that's where you start, and then they throw you down. You go so fast. Some cars were going 30 miles an hour.
It's also, you have to do a little skit first.
Yeah, which is insane. But then you go, we'll talk about the skate later, but then you go off this ramp that's pretty high up,
Well, yeah, so you go down the 2-story like
hill.
yeah, and then you hit a ramp.
And then once you get past the ramp, you got to recover, and then it goes into a figure 8 where you can choose a left or right, and then another left or right.
And within both those lefts and rights, there are little ramps.
Yeah, there are little ramps and ups and downs. And then once you get through that, it goes into like these pizza slices that were like these.
They would take up half the track on either side, but like you'd hit all of them.
Yeah, so it was just like mini ramps. So then your car would just like
right, left, right, and there was zero chance.
no, we would have been fucked. And
Because that would have turned us the entire time.
And then that's the finish line, and it was 2 blocks long.
Yeah.
But some people were getting it done in 30 seconds, which I was like, "That you're flying," which is so wild. I guess you're going down 2 stories.
Which I guess I haven't technically timed how long our run was.
No, it probably wasn't.
Probably was like 8 seconds.
Yeah, it probably was actually pretty fast because we were going fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, before you go down the hill, your car gets lifted up. Every team had to do a 30-second skit, which was like, I didn't understand
It's
this.
not what we're in it for.
We decided ours the day of. I mean, we kind of thought about it because we had to
Thought of,
submit
like, bass,
We had
yeah.
to submit music for it.
Oh, the music meant nothing though. That was just like that's what the noise.
But
is.
our skit turned out way better than
people really liked
Our
it.
skit
We
turned
had
out-
one of the better ones.
Our skit turned out way better than it thought. It was a lot of people just fighting and dancing, which is kind of what ours was.
Yeah.
But so we had a mascot that was wearing an arcade machine, our buddy Nate, which is so wild. And then it was Izzy and then your dad were dressed up as ghosts
Yeah,
from
they
Miss
just had
Pac-Man.
ghost t-shirts.
And we were player 1 and player 2. And their skit was they were trying to prevent us from getting to the machine. And like your dad was like legit kicking and punching us
Yeah,
and
no, he
throwing
was
us
throwing
down.
us down.
I was when I got in the car to go down the hill, I was out of breath.
I had to fix my GoPro because he threw me down and I hit my head. So the GoPro was like pointed down.
That's probably why it fell off.
Well, that's where I kept thinking, I'm glad we got this video now because I was worried that maybe it didn't go down and then I pointed it up or something.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I pointed it the right
Yeah,
direction.
I could see it because when we crashed,
Yeah, you see the GoPro for a moment.
Jacob lost his GoPro.
Immediately.
We hit a fucking hay bale and then it was just gone.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
but so we did this skit and then you just have to get in your car and then it's just go time.
and they said like if you
I was out of breath and my heart was just and it was just like ah!
I am so hopeful we will hear the audio from because they
because-
also mic'd the inside of our car.
I don't think they mic'd every car, but they put a mic in front of our car or in our car, and then you had a GoPro on your head. I hope we can get this footage.
Me too.
If we have it by the time this episode comes out, it will be included in this.
And if not, we'll probably do like kind of a cut up version and then
maybe
put more
put it in
other
it.
stuff in it.
But like I want the real footage, but I want to hear the mic because it's probably like us screaming, and then it's probably like us going, oh fuck! Like,
well, I think I was like, all right, here. I think I said something when we were approaching the ramp, so you know, like it's coming or here
All
we
right,
go.
here we go.
And then
ow. But it was so wild. So we did our skit.
Yep. All right.
Miss Pac-Man music. We get pushed down the hill.
Well, yeah. So I hop in and you follow
And
me.
then I follow.
I get primed up. I get Velcroed to the floor.
Yeah, we Velcroed you in for safety.
Yeah, because
Which
I had knee pads in, elbow pads, and wrist guards, and you had knee pads.
Yep. And we were wearing jumpsuits.
So I'm on my knees, bent over the handlebar, looking out the front of this. So like my biggest fear,
You're in like fucking. You're getting ready to be a pounded position.
yes, that's fair.
And I was
Getting ready to pound.
I was getting ready to pound.
Because my biggest fear is that if we hit something straight on, I was just gonna launch out. Just my
Because
big
the
helmet.
only thing you were holding on to is you were Velcroed into the car,
And then handlebar.
handlebars. So if you just let go, you go. Whoop.
Yep,
You'd be the great halftime show.
yeah. Which was one of my favorite cars.
Yeah. So, well, let's finish talking about.
Then we'll do a rundown of
I'll
the
talk
cars
about the
and some
car.
of our
Yeah,
favorites.
I'll look at the photos that I took.
Yeah.
But as soon as we get going down the hill, this is when I was like,
We're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Because I
thought you did this on purpose.
No, I'm holding it pretty fucking steady, all things
because
considered.
it's mostly a straight drop. It's a little bit to the left of the first ramp, but it's mostly straight.
It's that the wheels, if anything moves on the car, a wheel drags back.
Yeah.
So I am actively trying to keep it straight.
And you can see it in the video. Our car just goes.
Yeah, we swerve one way. I almost hit the cameraman.
Yeah, there was a guy on the ramp taking photos.
Not my fault. I
He did get out of the way.
Yeah, not all the way. He didn't get off the thing, but I corrected because we were going towards him.
Which would have been such a embarrassing crash if we crashed that early.
Or if we crashed into the cameraman.
Yeah, just
and we're
like,
just like,
oh,
no,
shit.
we ruined the event.
We
But like,
broke his camera.
For a moment, I was pointed directly at him.
Yes.
And then, so that's part of the swivel is I think I tried to get
And I was like holding on because I was like, oh,
yeah, because
look.
I think we like swerved a little to the right, and so I corrected to the left, but then we were gonna hit that guy, so I swerved back to the right, and then I straightened out.
And then you straightened out, and then we were like going for the hill,
so I would say during this path, like it
was pretty straight.
between the end of the hill and coming up on the ramp. But I think my thought was, because also I have no idea what my
dude, it
thoughts were.
happened so fast.
Because you see me swerve right before a little bit. I think I was trying to keep us straight over it because I was really worried about hitting the wall.
Well, imagine if you went off straight and went into the crowd.
Right.
Fuck.
Are we going to be arrested after this?
I do remember because I watched like the Discovery show of 2022, and I was seeing people go down the hill, and I saw that like because some cars it was just one driver, other cars it's two drivers. You can do either or.
We'd always do.
We'd always do two because we like to do things together.
Also, it's more fun.
But I saw that people that had two, the guys in the back, the guy who wasn't steering was like would hype up the crowd, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. So like when we were about to hit this ramp, I like let go with one hand to hype up the crowd because I was like, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
You see you do it up there
and
too.
I'm like, yeah, and then I like, and then you see me like buckle in because I'm like, we're about to hit this jump because I have no idea. We never went off a jump with this car. We went down a small hill. I have no idea what's going to happen. I was just bracing for impact, and then there was impact.
It was very because I wish I could even really remember what I could even see.
It was literally like I remember grabbing the car, and then I remember being on the concrete.
Because we
Like, it just happened.
we landed the jump, and then I think the wheels just kind of pulled.
Well,
to
yeah,
the
the
left.
axle disconnected from the car.
I don't
and
think
then-
that was from the jump.
Oh, it
I
wasn't?
think it's from the crash that the axle
Okay, then it
disconnected.
pulled to the left.
I think that it's just that landing this thing. If it wasn't perfect, it'd be impossible to keep
Yeah,
straight.
because our car was heavy.
Yeah, and it was the axle was always moving. So I think it was that. It's just from the landing and like the recovery. I pulled to the left, but this is something we didn't think either. As it turns to the left, I am lifting off the ground. My entire body is being thrown to the right, so I can't steer. Like I'm not sitting down. I can't fight a steer. I'm on the ground. So the moment we swerve hard enough to pull us in a direction, I am off.
Yeah,
I'm against the wall.
The Velcro's disconnecting.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, so we left immediately into a hay bale, and then we were going so fast, and also all of the weight, we fucking hit, and then
went
started
up
tumbled.
and then turned to the side.
I'm so glad you found a video, which is the best video of the event, because we don't have the official Red Bull video yet.
I don't even think the official Red Bull video will be this good.
But you found some guy on Instagram that was in the crowd that was right where we crashed, and he did it in slow motion, and you just see me fucking fly out, and then you see you roll inside of it.
Yeah.
You see like your head fucking hits.
Oh, because that's the thing is the moment we hit, because it's in slow motion, my head hits that post so fast.
I knew it would, like right in front of you, and then you roll.
Then I go up, and you are tumbling out the back. You see where the wood breaks, and then you roll off the car onto the hay,
Yeah.
but then you roll off the hay onto the ground.
And then I was just like, oh fuck. Like
Yeah.
I'm adrenaline is pumping so high. At this point I had 6 or 7 Red Bulls. So like I was feeling super, super hyped. I didn't feel pain at all in this moment.
No, I didn't feel pain.
Which
from
is
this
so
at
wild
all.
because my hip hurts so bad because you can tell from the video.
I got whiplash.
Yeah, you got whiplash, and then also your shoulder is so scuffed up. And
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second because I remember after the crash, like looking, and you're not in the car.
you're like, where'd he go?
Because you were like out.
Yeah, because you're in like a little box.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I like that in the video you see us start to like, oh my god.
Yeah, because we have to get up.
Yeah.
Because then also, I saw people like when they crash, if your car is still able to drive, they want you to see if you can still go.
Yeah, because
I was like, it looks like all 4 wheels are still connected.
Yeah.
So I tried, like we picked it
that's
back
where
up.
we get that photo of me jumping up as in like we're okay.
That's such a good photo.
Yeah, because the guy who took that found us afterwards.
Which is so insane because it's like you never would have got that photo because he would have posted that, I don't think.
Yeah, like that's the thing is I hope there's a place where everyone can like post their shit.
But probably not, dude. There was 20,000 people
But you
all
saw
filming.
all those phones on it. You think
dude,
we'll see
imagine-
more of them?
It would be so cool if you could get access to all 20,000 of those and just
build a 3D.
yeah, just like that'd be so sick.
That would be cool if you could like cut between
Yeah.
them.
That would be
I guess that'd be really cool if we made it to the end.
yeah, but we didn't.
Whereas it would be just there.
It'd be 8 seconds, but it'd be 20,000 cameras.
That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be pretty sick, slow mo. So it'd be a minute. Yeah, that'd be sick. But we tried to recorrect once we put the car back. But
Yeah,
then, but
'cause
then
also-
the axle was fucked.
I did not expect to see this car on its side.
No, because I was like, there's no way this car's flipping,
And we flipped it.
We almost rolled it.
Yeah, that would have been bad. But yeah, we missed half the siding.
Yeah.
There's a hole where my head busted through.
You can see the hole where it hits the hay
Yeah,
too.
yeah, because there's hay inside the car, and we got it down. We got it flipped back in the right direction. I jumped in the back to steer it, and I twisted it to test it, and just
And you had no control, but like I didn't know what to do because we were still in the track and no
Yeah.
one was coming to like get us or
'Cause I
like
think at one
and the
point-
crowd was and I was like, well, we got to keep trying.
But I was like, it's not moving.
So then I tried like backing us up because the back wheels still worked.
Mm-hmm.
I tried backing us up and like straighten us out, and I tried like pushing and jumping in, and it just immediately went to the right. I think
Right,
or
didn't
left.
we hit the wall again
Yeah,
or
we
something?
hit-
Because I remember people going, "Oh, that I actually like remember." I was like, "Oh, this isn't working."
because like the steering was fucked. So when I tried pushing, it just went straight into the
Yeah.
wall, and I was like, God damn it! Because I hope we could have just gotten a little bit,
Right.
and then I just kept going like we're done.
yeah, like we
someone.
I remember like
I did
doing
like this motion.
Yeah,
I was like, we
both
can't. Because like visually, it looked like it was fine.
Yeah,
but
it's
I was
still
like, no,
together.
it was disconnected.
Yeah, like there's no steering.
You couldn't.
Also, when I looked at the car later, I noticed the brakes are broken.
Oh, did they? Okay.
So I think you fell on them,
I
or
probably
like,
fell on them, or just in the shadow.
impact,
I mean, we
yeah.
only were using a 2x2, as the brake, so it's not that strong. But dude, some cars were visibly broken.
Yes. So
Which
I mean,
was-
ours the walls were pretty
yeah.
far gone.
But like wheels and axle wise,
Yes.
like some of them after the jump would just snap, which
Because
was so wild.
I will say I'm very glad we didn't just bottom out and slide.
Yeah, there were a few cars like after the jump where it just snapped and then they just slid and it was kind of like anticlimactic and then they were done.
Well, and then
I'm
there was,
glad we
like-
had like a crash because
Yes, a real-
that's what Red Bull posts.
Yeah, you rather want to make it or you want to
Red Bull
crash.
posts the crashes.
Yeah.
And our crash is hard.
But I will say, maybe the coolest one was the skateboard where their wheels popped off, but then they just like slid on a snowboard.
yeah, so like this, it was like this influencer group. I didn't really know who it was, like a big TikToker or something.
Yeah.
They made a skateboard car. I think they were all skateboarders, where it was a legit giant skateboard with 4 wheels underneath
grip
it.
tape on it.
Looked, dude, it
So
looked
cool.
so cool. But they went off the first jump and they landed pretty square, and then their wheels just disconnected.
shot forward and backwards.
And then they just slid on the skateboard a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's actually pretty badass.
Pretty cool.
But then he was just stuck.
Yeah.
Because his wheels just went, bloop. Dude, there was a lot of cool cars. Mm-hmm. Like, so
let's run through.
Yeah, we were 10th. So I'm glad we were in the best spot.
Yes.
We were able to see a few people finish.
'cause
We
some
were able
people
to see
were
a
there
few people
all
crash.
day.
Yeah, some people, and then like the crowd was leaving and like,
I'm glad we saw people win.
Yeah.
So we knew it was at least
yeah,
possible.
we were able to see crashes and wins, and the crowd at this point was still excited
Mm-hmm.
and happy. So we were going at the perfect time. But I think it was it the car before us or 2 cars before us was the toilet paper roll.
That was the car right in front
I
of
want
us.
to talk about this one.
Oh, us and everyone at this event were nervous about this
Yeah,
car.
so this one was so fucking scary because the story of this car was it was these 3 girls designed this car.
They were in like an automotive design club at school.
Which is so wild because I think even the announcer was like, you probably shouldn't design cars because it was literally a wagon.
Yep.
That was their steering and brakes somehow. Super small, like fucking.
Like a small wagon.
A small wagon. And then they just built turned it into a toilet paper roll. And I was like, that's a death trap. I was like, that's going to fucking flip. And
immediately.
And then the guy that was driving it didn't know what it was.
Yeah, he showed up that day.
And that was his first time seeing it.
But like, I talked to him before the race and he was like, yeah, I'm excited. Like, I'm going to see how it goes. I was like,
everybody was like, this car, dude. Even one of the Red Bull representatives or the GoPro representative or somebody was like, if you want to feel better about your car, look at this car. And I was like, people were talking shit about this car.
I will say, they smoked us. Yeah, oh my God.
They went, I mean, I couldn't see it. I wish I see it, but they went way further than this and then
maybe made it to the, they maybe finished.
They maybe finished, which is impressive.
I think he made it to at least the last event, and that's where he literally like tumbled forward and rolled.
I totally thought because it was a super small wagon.
I thought that ramp was just going to swing to the side.
Just swing and then he just rolls. Yeah. Because it was a death trap, but I was like, "Holy shit, they made it!" And then I was like, "Oh, they made it. That means we're for sure." And then
nope, we hit a wall quick.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like you're comparing to cars that
are completely different,
and you have no idea.
Yeah,
like because also you don't know. It could be good steering. There were a few cars that like were wobbling hard, but then the driver
kept going.
They like held on and recovered well. And I'm like, holy shit!
Because I don't know if anyone had steering like us. Is the thing. I think everyone had like that. Swivel steering.
The swivel steering. I mean, some people had bikes.
Right, they had worse steering than us.
Yeah, so there were two cars in particular that had bike steering, and it wasn't just a single bike. No, they had two bikes connected to each other. One was welded together, so it was one steering, and then...
But also, I don't know how that works either, and I don't remember which car that was.
That was like the turkey, the horse car.
Oh, was that one? Okay, yeah, I did not see how that one went.
I didn't see how that one went either, but it didn't...
I don't know. Probably did better than us.
Probably did better than us. And then the other one that I thought was a death trap was they had two bikes and then they had a triangle chain connecting it, and that's how they were. And I was like, dude,
one steering was connected to the other two bike steering.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, if that chain disconnects off the jump,
we talked to the guy while he built it. He was like, I don't know.
Yeah, we're just trying.
Yeah, because he was like, I think it's gonna fall, and then you're just gonna lose steering. And I thought he was the one driving. I was like, yeah, good luck. But then we found out because they were a Scooby-Doo thing, Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah, Mystery.
And that was Scooby we were talking to. And then when they get ready, fucking Velma hops in. I was like, oh, shit.
That's fucking badass.
Yeah, because I didn't talk to her at all that day. I kept talking to Scooby because
Scooby was just there to have fun.
He was the one building it, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because they also didn't have their sides or anything put on till the day of the event, which was
a lot
wild.
Of PVC pipe.
And they made it to the end.
They got the best score.
They got a perfect score because even the judges, even the announcers were like, "This car's gonna fall apart."
They were shit talking it
because
on
of the
podium.
chain, and then it made it to the end, and even I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, they just kept going, and like I think most of their walls
stayed alive,
but most of their walls fell off. I think
that's what's so fun is like when you're going and your car disintegrates, but your car keeps moving.
Going. Yeah,
like I love seeing that. The guy next to us, the team that we talked to the most was the Creed car.
Yeah.
So there was a car next to us that when I first showed up, it just looked like a giant person.
Just a guy.
And I was confused by it. And they were like, this is the Creed halftime show.
And they kept saying that.
And I was like, I'm still confused by this.
That those words don't mean anything.
And it was an inside joke for their team, but it was literally like
they're all wearing cowboy uniforms. So I think it was for a game they're playing.
Yeah, but they were wearing Scott Staff uniforms. Yeah. So that's the lead singer of Creed.
Oh, okay.
But as a cowboy. Okay. Which is so funny.
Probably what he wears on stage.
And then the driver was wearing a muscle suit. Yeah, we goose him. But the front of their car was just like the Creed. I don't even know.
Diving.
A guy diving
you'll
with
post
smoke.
The photos
I'll have
side by side.
But
because I looked up Creed halftime show and I immediately found the reference. I
found the photo, but I was like, "That's what you made?"
Yeah, that's.
But then that car fucking did because their base was a go kart. So they had suspension and stuff. But it was badass because going down the hill, you just see that face.
Yeah. And they got third overall, I think.
That's so funny. Another one of my favorites, and I think this one won People's Choice, was the Tenderloin car.
Best looking.
This one was so cool. This one was awesome because we live in Iowa. Tenderloins are a big thing here. So this car was literally a giant like red basket with a giant tenderloin bun and sandwich, and then fries in the front. And that was, dude, and it was...
And the fries were loose,
so they flew out. I remember seeing later in the event, little kids carrying around fries.
Yeah, they were all
and
playing
I was like, that's incredible. Like, that one won something for sure. They gave out awards for first, second, and third. Longest jump, People's Choice, and all this stuff. We didn't get any of that because we didn't finish.
I guess we don't know for sure. I doubt we got longest jump.
No, I don't.
Because I watched that jump, I was like, not far.
No, there were a few cars that like really got far, which is fucking insane. one of the first cars that went backwards. It was a wood chipper car. Yeah. So it was like a small car towing a wood chipper, and the wood chipper went down first. So there was a guy pretending to drive backwards in it, and then the guy actually driving hidden in the wood chipper.
Which I think people have done that before.
Yeah, I like when people hide the driver, and I like those kind of gimmicky because it's like people don't know. And then their skit was really cool too because one of the guys on their team juggled axes. I mean, they were fake foam axes, but it was still cool.
They definitely wrote everything around that.
But I was like,
kind of like we did with the arcade.
But he did it for a long, and I was like, that's impressive as fuck, dude. I was like, damn, that's a great way to start the show.
Yeah, because he kept doing that all day too.
Was he really? I didn't see him the rest of it.
No, he kept yelling stuff, and you look back and he's just juggling.
I guess that's what he does. He's a juggler.
Yeah, because that was one where the toe, like they took a hard turn and just tossed the guy who was on the back.
The second driver got kicked off. They most of their foam and everything disappeared, and but then the driver himself finished, and it was like that's actually so fun.
Yeah, that's where we were feeling confident.
Yeah, where I was like, they're getting through it.
Yeah,
they're getting through it. Man, it was just. All the cars were.
It was a weird day, yeah.
It was. I mean, I will say I was fucking exhausted,
yeah.
and sore, and like my body's still a little tight. My hip fucking hurts from hitting I hit wood and then hay and then concrete.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, it just. God, it was.
We'll have to do like the death proof thing where you show a zoomed in on me and then a zoomed in on you.
Oh man, it was so fucking fun, and I just think like. If any of you guys are thinking about doing it, it's free to enter. It's free to do,
and they'll probably let you.
Just do it. Like I mean, obviously you got to put time into building it and money into building it, but like, dude, it was so fun.
Yeah.
They provided us lunch that day. We got free Red Bull and free water.
It was nice.
They gave us dinner the night before. It was just pizza, but still food.
Yeah.
And like
more than they have to do.
Yeah, for a free event, which is so wild. So like in the future, I really want to do this again.
Yeah, if it comes back, we'll for sure do it again.
We already talked about what we would do different next time. Do you have any ideas for like another car?
Not yet. I don't have an idea.
We were talking the day of the event, like a Bullet Bill would be fun.
Sure. Because I want to do more weirder than specific.
Yeah,
gimmick.
I like doing, because we always are like, it's this, but with something else.
Yeah.
Like it's never like just like, oh, a Dumb and Dumber car or like the Wayne's World car or
like
I wouldn't want to do
Animal House car. I wouldn't want to do a direct reference.
Yeah.
But I definitely would want a thinner car because.
Yeah, like something like a log ride.
Yeah, where we can more fit between things.
Yeah. And we're more like in a luge.
I think that would be better, but also some of those wiped out hard.
But those are the ones.
Because Ants on the Log, that was a bad wipeout.
But they went fast.
They sure did.
Ants on the Log, that one was wild.
God, I hope we find out our speed.
I just really hope we get the footage because I couldn't hear anything the announcer
idea what they said.
And like
we kind of saw our score. I'm sure you can figure out the score and show it for the video, just based off videos.
But I got a lot of people's footage from the event, but it's not the full thing. Like I got like random clip bits. I want like the full thing, like from the start, from the skit to the crash.
It'd be nice to get the professional cameras too,
with the professional audio, because I want to hear what the judges say. Because I do think the judges like. We got decent scores, 5s and 6s.
So, because we had, I think we had 2 7s.
Oh yeah,
we had a good crash.
Yeah, because people like the crash, and then people were like, "Oh, we like the arcade theme." Like, I think people commented on Nate's costume because we were like, "They love Galaga."
Yeah,
even though that had nothing to do with it. It was wild,
it was a full
and it's also
day.
It's so insane that like we spent 2 months ish building a car.
Which is 2 months knowing we needed to build a car.
Yeah, but we spent all this time building a car. We put all this time and energy and money and stuff into it. Your dad's put a lot of stuff into it. But then it's just the day of the event.
We're here.
They just threw it away.
Yeah.
Like that's what's so wild. And you just like, you don't get any, you just do it. You don't get to do it. You don't get to do it again. You don't get to try it again. You don't get to test it.
I mean, you might get to do it again in years later.
Yeah, but with a different build and a different like, and also the course, every course for the Red Bull Soapbox Derby is different. Like they're always adding things. They're always making it more wild. Like, so when I was watching the Discovery Show, the first episode is London. And what's wild is they don't start on a big, like 2-foot or 2-story hill. They start on kind of a small thing and then you just get a push and it's a way longer course.
Oh, interesting.
So there's a lot more turns and like they went through like water, they went through foam, they went through like, so it's wild to see all the different.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know how to plan for that.
Yeah, like imagine if we showed up and they were like, yeah, you're going through water. We go, oh fuck.
Yeah, that's not going to go well.
That's going to be bad.
But also, nothing went well.
Yeah, nothing went well. Dude, I've watched that crash video so fucking much.
At least 100 times now.
I just wish that guy wasn't standing, like that security guard wasn't there, but you know, he was trying to protect the people.
He was working.
It was
we crashed there.
It was fun. It was So fun. And now it's just done.
Yeah, it's something we've done.
Are we interesting?
I hope so.
I think it's an interesting story. I thought it was interesting. But that's all we got for the Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, try and post little clips in this, I guess, for anything we talk about that you can find easy. Hopefully they do a bigger release.
Yeah, I hope they do like a press release or something.
And like, yeah, if they release more after this episode comes out, we'll do at least like smaller versions with more footage probably.
Yeah, maybe we'll like post some shit on social media, even though I'm slacking on social media, but
I don't care.
yeah.
You know? If we get the media, then we always have it, so we can always show it.
Yeah, which is so cool. No brackets, busters, and brews this week. This was just a Red Bull special.
It's a bye week.
It's a bye week. We just wanted to talk about the car. We just wanted to talk about our events because this was a big deal.
Yeah, it's something we did.
It was a fun day.
Yeah,
it was a fun day.
Yeah, because I got whiplash, and then I have like, it's like a rug burn on my shoulder from I think where I hit like the wood posts or
But
whatever.
you have like a legit. See,
Yeah.
my
It's
bruise. Like, it's not even bruised. Like, you can't even see it, but it hurts so fucking bad. It's like on the bone.
Sure.
It's like deep, which is so weird because I think of how I landed. My body's tight, but
Yeah, I didn't turn my head much yesterday.
I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Absolutely, yeah.
like,
Just with a better car.
Yeah, better car, better. And it's just like.
Just steering is all we really need.
And just like, if you guys have an itch to do anything like this, just
try
fucking
it.
just do it because we signed up as a bit,
Yeah.
and then we ended up
Worst
doing.
they can do is say yes, honestly, and you're like,
That's
oh,
the
shit.
worst thing.
Yeah, it's just like, oh
Yeah,
shit, now we have to do it.
Now we have to
Yeah.
do it. I am curious, and I was talking about it earlier. Is like, I wonder if there were any teams that got accepted that didn't do it.
I don't know.
Like, because there were 46 teams,
So
but I
maybe
think,
there was 50 to begin
and then
with.
in the initial email they said 50 teams, so
Sure,
maybe
but
four
also
of them.
maybe they were just saying 50 because it's close.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, maybe that's why they accepted us because they needed teams.
Maybe.
But 46 was a lot.
I would say we weren't the worst sketch either.
Yeah. There were some sketches that were really bad.
Some
but
that
also,
were incredible.
yeah, it's just, you can tell people that are, some people fucking travel and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there was the Dumb and Dumber guys.
They're from Wisconsin.
And they had won like the flying
I
one,
think,
which
yeah.
is so insane. And then they were doing this one. So some people like literally travel. I was watching the Des Moines one for 2022. There was a team that they traveled from Florida and they did the Texas one. They did the Des Moines one. They did the Los Angeles one.
If our car survived, we maybe could do the Utah one.
But that, dude, can you imagine driving like fucking 4 days with that car?
That would be hard, yeah. We'd have to get like a nice trailer.
Yeah, it'd have to be like an enclosed trailer.
Yeah.
Just so you don't like, that'd be so
Because
weird.
the cars fall apart.
Yeah, the cars fall apart. Like, but you can tell like, oh, this one's actually designed and this one's actually, and this one was put together with duct tape. Mm-hmm. Some of them were just duct tape and cardboard.
But also,
But
some of those won.
and they made it farther than us. So
I think there's a few cars that did worse than us.
yeah,
Because someone hit the wall hard before even the ramp.
Yeah, someone hit the hard. Yeah, they before the ramp. Some people didn't even make it to the ramp. A lot of people had just disappointing crashes. You know, where they get off the ramp and their axles break and stuff.
Yeah, because that was a good thing about our axle is that the wheels didn't break off, but some of those where it's the better steering, they just like popped off on the sides.
And then they just
drag. Yeah, and you're just like, well, you can't. The car's, there's no wheels left.
But you have no crash, so then that's footage that no one's going to share because it's disappointing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm glad we have a crash.
We're, at least worthy to watch.
But we're not going skydiving.
No,
not this time.
We didn't get free pizza for a year.
Izzy's relieved, but hey, in 3 years.
Remember when she actually agreed she would go skydiving?
She said the day after the event she goes maybe, and we go yes,
That's
you're
a
in.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that means you're in.
That's-
Because
why.
she's getting into it. She's committed.
That's why I steered into the wall to save her.
Oh,
Because I knew that'd be a fight.
because you're a good
I
husband.
threw it. Yep.
You threw the game.
and crashed my face on the post.
I had fucking money on us.
Could you imagine if you bet on this shit? Granted, I would have won zero money.
No, because I'd bet on cars and I bet against cars. They'd
that
fucking
did way better.
that'd actually be fun to bet on.
Yeah, we should do that next time. Is just at least have our own like who we think.
We go around the other teams and be like, "Hey, we're doing a betting.
Yeah,
You want $5?"
that would actually be really fun.
And we just take all the money.
No, because they would find us because we couldn't go away on our car because it was destroyed.
It was a fun event. But this has been the Red Bull Soapbox Des Moines Edition 2025 special. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you send us an email, muchmoneypockets@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Parlor, all the bullshit. Rate us 5 stars.
Ooh, if you have any clips, send it to us, please.
Yeah, if anybody's listening that was there, probably 2 people. But if you do,
or 20,000.
20,000 people. Yeah, true. Yeah, please send us the clips. We like seeing stuff we do.
Yeah,
I like watching myself
it
crash.
makes me know I'm alive.
Yeah. But this has been the Moist Monday podcast, and we survived.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Love you too.
Dry bones, lazy bones, big bones, dance around in your bones.